So if we want to define what is overachieving, overachieving is all about performing better or achieving more than what is expected or what's the standard. But the real question is, where did my overachieving come from? And I know exactly where it came from, actually. So from a very young age, I had always been told you can move mountains. As I was putting together this presentation, I was like, I wonder if I could find, like a image to, encapsulate that phrase. And I'm like, okay, so that's where you get this photo right here. However, I've always been the kind of person who has, reached for the stars or really tried to do my best and achieve as much as possible because, well, I was motivated to succeed. And I'm somebody who absolutely loves having a to-do list, checking things off, feeling accomplishments. Brings me so much joy. So I definitely am somebody naturally who is motivated to succeed, whether that's because I was nurtured to do that or is it my nature? Who knows? In psychology, they would say it's both. So my earliest experience with overachieving comes back to the beauty of rubrics. Okay, so structure and order, my two best friends. I personally love rubrics. Why? Well, it basically told me what I need to do to get the best grade ever. And I was pretty motivated by grades, especially when they were put into rubrics like this in elementary school, even high school, because it felt like, wow, I was given the secret formula for doing the absolute best. And there was nothing like getting a 4+ on an assignment. Okay, so definitely rubrics, best friends. But going more into high school, I realized that, I didn't have to put in a huge amount of effort to get the results I was looking for. And I constantly was looking for challenges. Okay, to be fair, I was not involved in many extracurriculars in high school. I was kind of just focused on studying and whatever socializing you do in high school. So I really wanted a challenge. So I said to myself, okay, how can I get out of high school and graduate early? Is that even possible? Well, in fact, it is. And I ended up going to an alternative school to make that dream come true, just to get extra credits, do some night classes, a summer course. And I found out I only needed, 4 credits for grade 12 rather than 6 because they had already been, done. But when I got to university, there was quite a learning curve. I should say that I went to university in Quebec, okay? And something a lot of Quebecois students had that I didn't was the experience of CEGEP. So for those of you who are not familiar with CEGEP, it's basically like a college. So instead of going to grade 12 and then starting your university career, you'd actually go up to grade 11 and then you would do, I believe it's 2 years, and you get a DEC, which is basically like a college degree, and then you go on to university. So instead of doing the 3 years at university, you would do the 4. So I'm coming in here knowing really nothing about higher education and how to function to be the best student possible. And I realized that, wow, I'm not necessarily prepared the way some of my peers are. And I really felt the difference. I really had to start putting in a lot more effort. But the thing is, I didn't really know how to study. And I was so used to accomplishing things and getting great grades, I started questioning, who am I? I didn't know where I was lying in a distribution, say with my classmates who are getting great grades and seem to have no problem adjusting. I mean, and I'm talking about people who definitely went to CEGEP or maybe had already had experience post-secondary. So I really started questioning, who am I and what's going on? So what I started really feeling was this discrepancy between my expectations where I'm at and where I want to be. I felt that discrepancy. So that was all coming from my high expectations. I expected myself to operate the same way I did in high school. But the thing is, we're not in high school anymore. You know, like Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore. We're not in high school anymore. So it's going to require a little bit more than what you're used to. This is a whole different ball game. So in order to get my little itch scratched, I decided to get involved in a lot of extracurriculars, something I did not do in high school. So that's when I started getting involved in Stronger Than Stigma, which was a student-led initiative on campus, just advocating for mental health. I got involved in CUPA, which is the Undergraduate Psychology Association. So basically a lot of academic and social events for the psych students, as well as like I'm trying to think of some events, maybe a networking event so people in psych can see what you can do with your degree, or maybe it could have been a paint night where everybody's coming together and you're meeting peers that you wouldn't see normally. So this was giving me great fulfillment, especially working with the counseling and psych services at Concordia. If you see this person right here, this is me. This is me working in the Zen dens. So Zen dens were basically these drop-in spaces on campus where people could come in, and I myself, as a peer at that time, would be there for active listening services.